So like I said, today we're going to read The Runaway Robot. We're going to start it, we're going to work on stuff, and then afterwards we're going to do our own little robot project. It's going to be lots of fun, okay? All right, so let's start with this. What do you guys already know about robots? Anybody? Yep, they look like us. Good job, Andres. Uh-huh. They do now. They didn't usually. Yeah, they didn't from the beginning. Awesome. What else? What do you know about robots? How are they made? Yeah, from all different things. Angelina, good work. Okay. Anybody else? What do they do? What do robots do? They make things? Nice. Good job, Felicia. Yes. Awesome work. Yeah, so let's discover a little bit more about robots. We're going to watch a short video and we'll see some more work about robots.
We've been dreaming up ways for robots to make life a little easier since the last century, and recent technological developments are making these fantasies a reality. So how can robots be part of our lives today?
Is to cite some keywords from text to support questions. So by the end of this class, this is what you're going to be able to do. You will be able to look at text, cite the keywords to support questions that I will ask. All right? That's our goal. Before we read anything from our book, I want to go over some key vocabulary words, some words that you guys may not be familiar with. Okay, we want to go over it a little bit so that you understand what the words mean when you hear them for the first time, some of you, right? Okay, so we've got the word perishable in here. Perishable means it's something that is likely to decay or go bad quickly. Then we have semi-humanoid. What is that? What is semi-humanoid? Well, it's having an appearance or character resembling that of a human. So like we saw that picture of the robot earlier, it kind of looked like a human, right? It had some humanistic features. That's semi-humanoid. Okay, and then there are some cultural words in here like cumin and chili. The cumin is an aromatic seed of a plant of the parsley family. So it's a spice that we use in cooking. Chili is a small, hot-tasting pod of a variety of capsaicin. And capsaicin is the stuff that is hot. That gives you that hot burn in your mouth. So that's chili. We all pretty much know what chili is. All right, so those are some words I want you to know before we move on to our reading, okay? And remember, our goal is to be able to cite keywords from the text to support questions that I'm going to ask you along the way. All right, so today we're going to start our book. It's time to read Paisley Adams, Runaway Robot by J.L. Anderson. So before we start, I want all of you, knowing what you know now about robots, the things that they can do, looking at the book cover here, let's make a prediction. What do you think will end up happening? Will it go well or will it go poorly? What do you guys think? Yes, Jason. You think they're going to end up making a mess? Yeah, possibly. Possibly. We know there's some trial and error with robots, right? Good job. Anybody else? Predictions? Is it going to go good? Yes, Brian? Yeah, you think it's going to actually be able to perform chores? Nice. Well, let's find out. We got to read to find out, right? So those are really good predictions, you guys. We have two sides. We have it's going to end up, they're going to make a mess and things are going to go bad. And things are going to go good and it's going to actually end up doing their chores for them. Well, let's read. Let's find out what's going to happen. All right. Oops, not yet. Okay, so here we have Paisley Adams, Runaway Robot. So remember your predictions that you made as we start this book, okay? We're going to read the first chapter today. All right, so chapter 1, building a robot. Paisley Adams tripped over a box as she walked into her house after school. It had perishable and live animals labeled all over it. You think Mom sent us a pet from Mexico? She asked her best friend, Ben Stryker. Paisley's mom was researching plant species in Mexico and had sent them a few treats before, plus stacks of field notes and plant specimens. She even mailed some Mexican garden decorations. Newton, the Adams rescued pet mongoose, crouched low to sniff the mystery box. Based on the size and shape of the box, I think we can safely say it isn't a jaguar, Ben said. Newton chattered. Don't worry, Newton. We'll love you even if we get a new pet, Paisley said. Paisley opened the box with Ben's help. Looks like some kind of insect, Ben said. He loved insects. He especially loved to watch his harvester ant collection. They worked hard and were so organized. They're beetles. Thousands and thousands and thousands of beetles, Paisley said, checking out the dermestid beetle colony kit. Flour dust clouded the air as Dad walked in out of the kitchen. Paisley could only imagine what the kitchen looked like this moment. Hey, you two, Dad said. Hope school went well. Oh, good. My flesh-eating beetles have arrived. He broke into his happy air guitar dance. Dad was the only person Paisley could think of that would dance for bugs. Well, other than Ben. So, what are you guys wondering about robots and chores as of right now? What we've read on these first pages, based on the information that they gave us, what are you wondering about robots and chores? Good, Rachel. Yeah, if they can get a robot, maybe Mom sent them a robot. Okay, good. Maybe they can use the beetles from the robot. Good, Anthony. Yeah. Maybe. All right, I don't know. We'll find out. Okay. Paisley studied the beetles. Flesh-eating beetles, huh? They didn't have fangs or look bloodthirsty or anything. Newton clicked his lips. Don't even think about eating them, Dad said to Newton. These beetles will be doing some important work for me. They don't bite, do they? Paisley asked. Not humans. They don't carry any disease either. They'll naturally clean some bones, Dad said. His office overflowed with lots of strange stuff these days, including a deep freezer with parts of a bison skeleton. He was working extra hours to put on an American Grasslands display at the university. Ben watched the beetles and their larvae so long, Paisley had to tug on his arm to pull him away. Still want to run some experiments in the lab, she asked. Ben hesitated, then followed Paisley. She tripped over one of Newton's squeaky toys as they squeezed through the hallway, lined with overgrown plants, to get to their basement lab. The place was a mess. Okay, so what are you guys curious about so far? What in the book is making us wonder that? What are we thinking? What are we curious about? Good, Josh. Yeah, what are the beetles going to do, right? Seems kind of like we're focusing on the beetles here. Okay. Yeah, Jamie, what about the robot? I thought this was about a robot. Okay, can they use the beetles for the robot? Yeah, just like earlier. That's what we asked, right? All right, I don't know. Let's find out. Too bad my dad couldn't use a robot to clean the bones instead of beetles, Paisley said. The house was already a disaster without the addition of the freezer full of bones, and now dermestid beetles. Flesh-eating robots could turn into a nightmare if they don't get programmed right, Ben said. He pretended he was getting attacked. Paisley laughed. I don't think that all the way through. I didn't think that all the way through. We could at least use a robot to help with our chores. This place is a wreck. I can't believe I've let things get so disorganized, Ben said. He took after his neat parents and was usually orderly like his aunts. Paisley looked around their lab. They had safety goggles, a couple of fire extinguisher, multimeters, different types of scopes, beakers, batteries, art supplies, recycled materials, plus a bunch of other stuff scattered around. Newton had even shredded a large poster board to build himself a makeshift den. Ben stared at a printer and scanner combo. Coils and wires stuck out all over the machine like hay from a scarecrow's head. A robot would be awesome. Millions of robots are used all over the world to build industrial stuff. Surely we could design one to help with chores. As long as we don't come up with some sort of flesh-eating robot that tries to attack us, our lives will be much simpler, Paisley said. She told Ben about an article she'd read about a woman named Melanie Weiss, who designed robots. Melanie Weiss and her team built a robot called UBR-1 to do all kinds of stuff around the house, like get drinks and clean out the dishwasher. Talk about living up to your last name, Ben said. No kidding, Paisley said, though she liked her last name and Ben's too. Adams and Stryker. Had a nice ring to it if they decided to start their own robotics company one day. My parents were talking about how kids born today might not ever drive a car because of robotics, Ben said. I hope that doesn't pan out. All right, guys, so what part are we at in the story? Okay. Yep, they're starting to get their ideas about how they're going to build their robot. Yes, good. How much more do we need to read in order to find out? Yeah. So, right, we said earlier, are these beetles going to be part of the robot? Mm-hmm. How much more do you think we need to read? A bit. Why? Okay, because they haven't actually gotten to any building of the robot. Okay, good, good. So, but where are we at in the story? How do we know that we're at the part where they're thinking about building this robot? Yes, nice work. Where do you see that on the page, Ben? Good, at the top of page 11. Uh-huh. A robot would be awesome. Good. Yes, nice job. Yes, yes, yes. Good work. Okay. All right, well, let's keep reading and see how these bugs fit in. Sorry, I forgot a line. Paisley liked the idea of driving a car someday as well. If not, maybe they could dream up driving adventure together using the ancient key her mom had given her. We should build a semi-humanoid robot like UBR-1 that can do our chores and more, Ben said. Paisley liked the sound of that. Chores and more actually makes a good robot name. Let's build the robot first and then decide on a name, he said. True, Paisley loved the possibility of never having to do chores again. We should start with a robot base and body. Paisley and Ben dug their way through their lab, but didn't find anything large enough that could do stuff like sweep, scrub the toilets, and mop the kitchen. Use the beetles? No. No, we still don't know. All right, good job, guys.